All right, guys, a little windy down here today. I'm building some swordfish rigs. I'm bringing you guys along. This is going to be a two-part video series. I'm going to show you guys how to make a swordfish rig. It's a little detailed, so I didn't want it to get too long. But on today's first part, I'm going to show you how, where, and what I use for material to tie the floss loop on for the weight or for the buoy on a swordfish rig. Grab your life jackets and hang on, and welcome aboard. Today when I'm making up the rig, I've already started this one. So I've got 125 feet of line on this rig. It's coming from the boat right now. She's tight. That way I can tie the floss loop on. I've already tied on the main loop on this particular rig, but I'm going to do the floss loop first. Then I'll show you guys how I do a whole new rig. But anyway, with this rig, instead of traditionally, guys, we all run our rig. We've got our Dacron. So here's your Dacron. I've got it on a smooth piece of PVC there on the Falcon, just holding it tight. So your Dacron right here, you have your floss loop that holds this in place essentially. And then most of us put the loop for the weight here. I do not do that. I like it down. I'm going to go 20 feet, guys. So, right, I got the 200-pound braid here. Again, it's a little more slippery than the floss loop, but so I just pull it all the way right in the middle here, make a loop here, and pull your two tag ends or pull your two ends through, just to get her snug it down on your main line. This direction here is the direction the bait is. This direction is the direction of the reel. So you want to wrap towards the bait. That way you're going to have a long wrap here, and then we're going to bring it back over and finish it off on the top. If you do it the other way, where you wrap it this way, then pull it over and you finish it off, your finish area is just really small, and the weight will have a tendency to pull and slide that down on the rig a little bit. So here we go. We're going to do a series of half hitches with both of them. It's going to take about 5 or 6 to kind of get it seated. I like to do double lines. It's twice as fast that way. You can do single if you'd like, but the double works well. It's faster. It takes a little while to do this. So here we go. I'm going to run this on fast forward here. It's the same process. Keep making half hitches until you get that section long enough on your wind on leader there, but you don't need to watch it in average speed. It takes a few minutes to do this, but you want to be very consistent with it and keep those knots tight. As I'm getting close to the end here, you want this thing, it's almost as long as my finger. You want it a couple inches long at least. So I'm going to do a few more wraps. So as you're doing the wraps, you see how it'll twist. You don't want it twisting like that. You want to keep your line lined up. Then I just hold it. I'm holding both the pieces of line on both sides and pulling towards me just to snug it. Next, we're going to make the loop. What we're going to do is pull this up this direction to finish it off. But when we do that, either one of these strands will hold. They're 200 pounds a piece, but I like to just wrap them up. So you got 400 pounds. That thing is not coming off there like that. Just give it a few wraps. And you don't have to wrap it, but I just like to, like I said. And then we're gonna start here. We're gonna do a few half hitches going this way now. I'm going to snug it down and keep like a finger or so in there just to get that first one going. And you need a little bit of a loop there just to so you can get the clip on. So I just kind of did a half hitch there. That one's not holding, it's loose. This one will start to hold it. I'm going to do a few of them this way. Again, you can see that where that can slide a little bit. If I have it on this end and the bait's that way and the weight's hanging, the weight's going to pull this direction, guys. So if it's pulling this direction, it ain't going to pull this, and it'll keep this end snug. And I've done it backwards accidentally. If you do it like this, even a few more wraps, it's going to slide a little bit, and you got to pull it back up. So you want to work yourself towards your bait. And again, a few more half hitches on the end towards the reel. Again, I'm spinning the line, keeping it snug. I have an idea for a clamping kit I'm going to get to when I got everything else done. Might not happen for a while. If you guys have an idea of how to clamp this down, or a good way to do this without stretching the line through your yard, let me know. Shoot me a comment. Okay, so I've done a few there. Now what I'm going to do is I don't know what this is exactly called. It's kind of like a uni. So I make a loop here. I'm coming down, but I make a loop here. I'm going to wrap inside of it about 4 times. I'm just wrapping inside of this loop. I'm going inside 4 times. Or I might go 5. 4, let's go 5 times. We'll go 1 more. With braid, if you're doing a knot a certain way with mono and it takes 3 turns, with braid you better do 6. So all right, so we've got that wrapped inside that loop. It's wrapped, just so you can see, it's just wrapped around the line like 5 times. I'm going to take these 2 tag ends here, and I'm just going to hold them here. I'm going to pinch them down, just hold them, and I'm going to kind of unwrap this. I'm going to take the loop is going to come around. So it's going to unwrap it from the back to the front is what it's doing. It's unwrapping the back here and wrapping it up. And I'm grabbing it with my thumb and finger as I'm doing the wrap. Again, unwrapping the back, wrapping the front. There, we got 1 left right there. Okay, once we get to that point, I'm going to grab it right here with my finger and hold it, and I'm just going to snug these down. You can see it pulling in, and I'm just going to snug it down on itself. You want that nice and tight. Again, your weight is going to pull this direction. The advantage to using the heavy braid, cut it off obviously. Good pair of scissors, guys. These are Cudas. They're supposed to be titanium coated. They're extremely heavy. I use them all the time. They're super heavy. I mean, you can cut a fish's head right off with them. They're really good. So the disadvantage to the braid is it slides a little easier. The wax is tacky and it grabs the line a little better. So with the braid, I'm going to put a little super glue action. That's a little crusty. Get a drop of super glue right on these tail ends here. I'm just going to glue this end up a little bit. Got to clean up my super glue, obviously. So get the tail ends, get that right there. All right, guys, a few points from the video here. One, the reason I'm using like the 200-pound braid, and maybe you could get by with 100. I haven't tried it yet. That might work as well. But the 200-pound, when you're running a regular floss loop with, we'll call it 75-pound tacky floss, it wears out after a while on that wind-on leader. It starts getting a little shredded if you swordfish a lot. So the braid does not do that. You got to make the rig a little bit longer as far as wrapping it, because it doesn't grab the line as well. Second point on this, when I'm putting that floss loop on the wind-on leader, the reason I have it 25 feet from the loop-to-loop connection is, let's say you got a swordfish on either rod, the buoy, the tip rod, or you just fishing one rod. You're winding it in, you're getting stuff ready in the boat, and you're paying attention, but there's a lot of things starting to happen. And also, wham, here comes that weight. The 25 feet of extra mono does two things. It gets the mono on the reel for when you grab it, the rod, and spin it over to pull the weight off. And it gives you a little bit of a warning, like an extra minute. You see that coming in. You know the weight's coming right behind it versus wham, here comes the weight immediately. And what could happen is you could run the clip holding the weight on into the rod tip if you don't catch it, or if you had your head turned looking at something else, or looking at where the fish is going, or adjusting the boat heading if you're fishing solo like I do on occasion. So it just gives you a little bit of an insurance buffer, I'll call it. All right, guys, if you haven't had a chance yet, please smash that subscribe button. And if you like the channel, guys, give me a thumbs up, share it with a friend. Tell your buddies you're watching the channel. We're trying to grow it here. And if you have any questions or comments on rig making or anything like that, please shoot them over. If you guys have a really cool way you're making a rig and nobody else is doing it that way, please share that with me. Captain Matt, Marathon Sport Fishing, signing off for today.